So the countdown's on to WrestleMania. Man, I have said that quite a few times in my life. If I got paid every time I said the countdown to WrestleMania is on,
Hmm.
I'd have three nickels. Anyway, welcome to Almost Live, the WrestleMania edition. I'm Kevin Kelly, your host, along with Brutal Bob Evans. Yes, this was his idea. I don't care. He's the sidekick. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, Hello, Bob. Welcome to WrestleMania. Happy WrestleMania to one and all.
Now, did you call me a sidekick or did you call me a psychic?
Sure. Yeah. Well,
Fair enough.
you have predicted quite a few things.
I have. I predicted that we were going to do the show today and you were going to usurp me immediately. And that happened.
Well,
So,
I thought it was baked in the cake, as it were. The kids, everybody in the streets saying it. It's word on the street.
well, the word on the street and the word through the grapevine is exactly what you just said. So, no, I'm doing well. Happy WrestleMania, everybody. Happy Mania week. Tons of stuff going on, which is actually why we're going to hit our subject today, our topic. Very, very excited. Any WrestleMania predictions? How about the big one, Cody and Cena? Where do you think they're going to go with that?
Um, I've said all along that this year Cena wins, and what they're building towards is The Rock and Cena versus Roman Reigns and Cody, which I don't know how far they could go with this. If it's just a SummerSlam thing, or if it's Cena's final match, or if it's whatever. I think Cena eventually turns back, and
Sure.
they need something as a catalyst. And if he just hands the belt to Cody and hugs Cody after losing it back to him, then everybody goes, "Mm." I think they could do some business and get a match out of The Rock.
Yeah, I think it's too soon to do something that devastating and then just turn them right back. I think, yeah, they're going to get some mileage out of this. It wouldn't surprise me if Cena wins also, to have Cody beat him back. Um, Maybe Rock is the gatekeeper that, is going to be the guy who, if he beats Rock, he gets another shot at Cena. I think the Cena character is going to evolve and we're going to get more heelish. And then eventually it's going to turn back into either the 2 out of 3 Rock versus Cena. The loser must retire. The winner must retire. Whatever. They
Oh,
both retire no matter what. Or um, obviously there's something that happens when Cody wrestles Cena, but I don't think the story is Cody beating Cena and Cena being dejected in the middle of the ring and the crowd slowly rises up to cheer for him. I just don't think that's the story. Um, Plus, why not get some mileage out of this? Why not? Even
right.
if that was the original plan, which I don't think it was, but even if it was, plans change, pal. Why don't we get some mileage out of this? People are still talking about it. It's still important. It's something that I think they can get 6 or 9 months out of, especially since they've kind of gone back to long-term booking. The champions hold on to the belts for a while. It's not, we don't have 2 month tag champs. We don't have 4 month intercontinental champs or 10 week US champs. It seems like everybody's kind of holding on to the belt for a while.
Right.
Um, you know, we've had, I think all the world champions have held the belt for quite some time now.
Right.
And um, I think the tag team championship changes a little bit, but way less than it used to.
Right.
And my goodness, our friend LA Knight has held the US title for, I'm going to say since he won it, which is funny, but what, SummerSlam or whatever the next big pay-per-view was, like he's had it for quite a while. I mean,
Right.
a good 7, 8, 9 months. So,
And it used to be that when we were kids, we could always name the champions,
right. Yep.
and because they were champions for a long time.
Right.
So we're kind of even though there's 47 titles, let's have and that's Triple H's philosophy. That goes back when he and I worked together, and he and Russo were like this about, they wanted him to drop the belt on TV or something like that. And Triple H said, I have no problem losing on TV. I do it all the time, but it's too soon for the belt. We've got to start to establish some credibility around the belt, and let's take our time. And I was like, man, I just can't agree. Afterward, of course, can't agree with you more. And I'm glad you're sticking to your guns. So anyway, enough WrestleMania talk. Well, wait a minute. No, let's talk about the topic that you brought up, Bob.
Okay.
I was gonna captain the idea and just totally like ape it and say, here's my great idea this week, but I wouldn't do that.
Mhm.
No. Um, Bob's idea for the topic, which is a timely one, is regarding WrestleMania. And this isn't booking strategy. It's not what color gear will Bianca Belair wear? No, 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 no. We know that while there are going to be thousands and thousands of fans from all over the world flocking to Las Vegas to see all the glitz and glamour and the big shows, there are also going to be that number of people in town who are wrestling fans. And as a result, many, many, many smaller and some bigger companies run events in the area wherever WrestleMania is,
Oh yeah.
do it every year. Let's talk about how independent wrestlers heading to WrestleMania can benefit, can do well, can do better in these independent match situations out around WrestleMania. It's a polarizing topic for some, Bob. I like it.
Yeah, and it's let's dive right in. My number one, and we don't. This is in no particular order. So,
Right.
but the first one I want to tackle, and this one could actually be. We could talk the whole show about this. So we'll try to truncate it a bit if we can. Good word. Um, let's talk about compartmentalization, and what I mean by that is, are you going there as a fan? Are you going there just as a vacation? I'm going to take my wife, I'm going to take my kids, I'm going to take my girlfriend, boyfriend, I'm going to go by myself, I'm going to go with some buddies, and we're just going to buy tickets, we're going to get a hotel, we're going to eat, drink, and be merry, and we're going to watch the show and cheer our lungs out and in anonymity and just have a blast because my friends are all going away to college. John Doe over here just got a new job that's going to take him to Nebraska. And so now this is the last hurrah. Okay. That's one scenario. The second scenario is, am I going to network? Am I going to be a small business person going to one of the biggest small business expos in the country that leads into the biggest business expo in the country? And am I going to pass my business card around? Am I going to show off my wares, give free demonstrations, give paid demonstrations, have business meetings, and kind of, hustle and flow and get my brand going? Those are two. Or is it a combination of both? I'm going to work real hard. I'm going to play businessman or businesswoman or business person all week. And then Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to take my business hat off and put my play hat on and go have a blast. Those are probably the three biggest scenarios we're going to see.
Right.
And obviously the first one is fan. The second one is independent wrestler, networking for bookings. And the third one is I'm going to be that independent wrestler throughout the week and then go at the end of the week. So those are the three scenarios that I see that covers probably 95% of the people that we're going to talk to. And obviously, If you're a fan, just have a great time. But we're talking about independent wrestlers now. So that's the first one. Try to if you can't compartmentalize, boy, that's a tough word to say. If you can't compartmentalize, I would just go, I would either, and the fourth one is the fourth scenario is don't go at all, which you and I jokingly talked about before we got on
Right.
here. Just stay home. You can, if you're going to be a fan, but you can't be businesslike as well, then maybe you can't do the whole number 3 one. And if you're someone who's important in wrestling, maybe you can't do the number 1. Just act like a fan. And I don't mean a mark. We're not teasing people here. This is serious. And if you're not ready to be those people, then you're probably not ready to do number 2 and go network and go pass out business cards and shake hands and wrestle a few matches. And you have to realize that this could be the biggest business opportunity of your life, or it could be a vacation, and both are valid. Go ahead, Kevin.
It can be, and there's a couple of different avenues that I want to tackle. I have 3 different takes on this.
Great.
But they're all related to what you said. Number one, it's polarizing because there are a lot of people who feel that you can stay home, but you've made the decision to go. So after we get through speaking about what you should do this coming week, we'll take the opposite side and we'll say, let's talk to promoters about what to do for next year and what independent wrestlers could do next year.
Right.
Because the biggest thing that wrestlers want to do is they want to have like Scrooge McDuck at the end of the weekend, and they want a big pile of money, right? Because they get
Yes.
paid to hustle between all of these shows.
Right.
If you're deciding to wrestle, and if it's your first time, it's not fun. It's a grind.
It is.
And you just go, you basically live in your sweaty gear, and you're going from show to show, and you're taking Ubers, and you're hustling rides, and you're trying to get from one show to another on time, and you're calling and texting, and I'm late, and this and that. It's stressful. So understand the stress, but understand that this is the money that you can make, and what you do with that money is important. Now, if you're getting the money to fund the vacation, okay, that's fine. If you're going to take that money, and if you're living off of it, if it's your nest egg, if it's your I need to buy more gear money, and more gear and reinvest in myself, then that's great too. So understand what it is. Understand that it's an opportunity to have a lot of bookings in a short period of time, and to make a lot of money, sell a lot of merch. Networking. Networking is a couple of different things. Number one, this is a resume builder. And it's a resume builder in one-on-one conversations with promoters, but it's a resume builder in terms of a wrestler's stock, what their perception is on the independent scene. Wrestler X wrestled in 11 different shows over 37 hours, and is highly regarded as one of the best, most versatile players in the game after his or her WrestleMania experience.
Right.
Read that story several times, and then that parlays into more bookings and more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the big outside view. And then, of course, if you have enough time to have a one-on-one conversation with a promotion that you want to work, that's great too. Can you be both? Can you be both fan and hustling wrestler? No, you can enjoy the moment, but if you're hustling between bookings, don't have the idea that I'm going to also take pictures and go to the Sphere and
Right.
have a cheap buffet. It sucks, and it's rotten. And I've been out to a few of them, and I never enjoyed it because I'm not a big crowd guy. Like, I just can't. I can't do it. And
I'm
God
the
bless
same.
those who can.
I'm the same way. I respect people that do it, but man, it is not my favorite.
No, I went to the one in Dallas, and New Japan did a show, and it was fun and it was great. But an hour before the show, when I got to the building, I was having a panic attack.
Right.
Because of the crowds. And I don't get panic attacks, folks. That was new to me. And I'm seeing friends of mine. I'm seeing our buddy JR, Justin Rosero, and he's, like, come on, let's go meet Tony Atlas. Let's go meet Virgil. And I'm like, let me just stand here. So is it the big pot of money? Great. Is it the networking opportunities? Great. And then the third thing is, don't worry about the perception of going and being a fan, okay? Because every football coach in the world, every football player in the world has a team that they cheer for. And when that team does well, if they're not playing in the game, they're a fan, okay?
Right.
So don't worry about that. My favorite NFL player, Jameis Winston, is screaming his lungs out at the Super Bowl. So that's cool. I love all that stuff. Don't worry about going and being a fan. And don't worry about haters who say, "Oh, that's unprofessional" or whatever, because there are some fogies. I don't know if you know this, Bob, but there are some guys, that are a little older like you and I, that say that independent wrestlers should just stay home, and what a bunch of marks and blah 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 blah. And that's not a good take. I never agreed with that take, because you only live once, and it's a hell of a story when you come home from wrestling 11 times in 37 hours and maybe making a couple of grand. That's your seed money for the whole year.
Well, all right. So you've given one side of it, and I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. Complete agreement. But I think you've left out one of the biggest categories that we have. what about somebody who is starting out or fairly new? Maybe not someone, Joey Janela can go and Joey Janela can make a ton of money. Love and kisses to Joey.
Right.
Our friend Fuego, he's in one of the biggest matches of his life. He's putting the mask up on the line. Fuego del Sol, lovely guy. I don't know if I've ever actually met him, but we talk online all the time. There's plenty of these very upper echelon independent guys and girls who do a lot of, who do a lot of shows. Our friend Manny Lemons is promoting a show out there with our other friend Joe DeFalco.
So wait a minute. Devotion Championship Wrestling, Future Stars of Wrestling are coming together to promote a big event out there in Las Vegas?
Well, Devotion Championship Wrestling is partaking in the building owned by our buddies at Future Stars of Wrestling.
Oh, even better.
Because Future Stars of Wrestling is the big host of a lot of independent shows this year because they have the facility, they have the ring, they have everything. It's great. So remember when we talked about doing other things aside from wrestling? That's the thing. Aside from wrestling, maybe you can be a host. So there's plenty of people that are out there, but what would you say? I have my things to say, but I want you to say this because we haven't tackled this yet. What would you say to somebody who's kind of starting out? Maybe it's they're confident enough to go. They think they're going to do a good job. They're not scared to set up a ring. So let's get all that out of the way. Yes. If somebody asks you to set up the ring, set up the ring. Somebody asks you to, shake hands, ask questions. All right. So we're past all the basic. We give people upper echelon crap around here. We don't give them the normal crap. Okay. So anybody can say that. That's obviously baseline. Be a good person. Don't get drunk. Don't throw wine bottles at people in the middle of the street. Obviously, don't do any of that stuff. But what about a good, nice person who's going to be a responsible young man or woman who's out there for the first couple of years? They're confident enough to wrestle, but they're not sure what they're going to go. They're not going to make a couple of grand over 37 hours, 11 matches, all that stuff. They're kind of just going out there, and they might have one booking with a promotion that they've worked for in another area. But what about the rest of the week? How should they tackle that?
Well, you try to latch on to somebody because if you can get from show to show, and again, if Joe DeFalco is hosting a bunch of the events, then that makes it easy. If you can find a home base and sort of nest in one building and always be there, trust me, there's going to be people who don't show up. They're not that they're not taking the booking, but they're stuck in crosstown traffic, or they're waiting on an Uber and they can't get there.
Or flights.
Once they're in town, there are more delays than airline delays.
Right.
Especially if you're going between venues. So be ready, of course, at all times. And I look at it proportionally too. Yeah, 37 matches over, 11 matches over 37 hours and sitting in a big pot of money at the end. If you're a $25 guy, $20 girl, 25 is your first couple of matches, first couple of years, okay, cool. It's proportional. If you come home with $200 in your pocket because you wrestled 3 or 4 times, then you've made money and it's good. And you sell pictures and you sell a t-shirt and you've made money in wrestling in this big event. There will be some people that go just to buy merch from different wrestlers. And if you got a t-shirt that I like, I'm going to buy it. And they may not know you, they may never see you again, but it's cool.
Or a fan sees, sorry to interrupt, but a fan sees you in 3 straight shows over the weekend and you're like, right. Hey, come on, man. Like we've seen each other a lot. You got to buy my shirt now, and why this pay inequality with the men and women, $25 guy, $20 girl. You better watch yourself.
I'm sorry about that. No, $75 girl, $10 guy.
Somehow that makes it worse, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's the reality. But if you have a small resume, this is an opportunity to have a cool wrestling experience, setting your expectations. Sleeping on the floor of the venue, which I have a feeling Joe is probably, opening his venue up to wrestlers who just want to bunk there.
Right.
That's great. And if that's the experience that you're going to get, then that's the experience you're going to get. You can make it work on any level. Okay. And you've made the decision to go. And I don't want anybody to be dissuaded to thinking, am I making the right or wrong decision? No, you're making the right decision because you've decided to do something.
Right.
Activity is better than inertia.
Mm-hmm.
And sitting still and wondering if is not a good spot to be in a life or in a career. It's fine to take risks, especially when you're young. If you're our age and we've got kids and a mortgage and a wife and bills to pay, it's a little more difficult to uproot and say, I'm going to go camp out basically in the host city of WrestleMania for a few days, and I don't know what I'm going to come home with. We're on a little higher level, but it's a great experience and it's a ton of memories that you'll never forget. So certainly go and make the most of it and be prepared for opportunities to come up at a moment's notice, to
Yep.
throw on your tights and go in the ring and show what you know. And again, you're going to have to rely on your fundamentals at that point because you're not going to have time to sit and talk and plan. Um, so just go out there and wrestle and have fun. And remember that these crowds are, you're seeing new people and you're going to be wrestling in front of new people. So you can give them the fundamentals. This doesn't have to be the continuation of the program in your home promotion. This can be, I'm Acme Wrestler #1, and you've never seen me before. Just go out there and do the basics and show your personality, and you'll get a reaction. People will like you because it's WrestleMania and they're fans, and most of them are blind drunk. So there you go.
The and when we say network, a lot of, and I also have a very, very strong guideline for that, and Kevin does too. So again, go network, shake hands, and ask who the promoter is all okay advice. There's nothing wrong with it. But let's get deeper into that a little bit. So when you go to a show, really, and we've talked about this on an earlier episode. I'm not sure if it was one or two. It was one of the first couple of episodes. But when you go to a show, you don't just introduce yourself. You introduce yourself to everybody, especially the women, because one of them is probably the promoter's boyfriend. One of them is probably the boyfriend, the promoter's girlfriend or wife. So, so make sure that you're dealing with them, especially not because we're trying to short circuit anything, but it's because we're trying to short circuit everything. So meet everybody, be nice to everybody. Anybody you see that doesn't look like they belong there, be especially nice to them because they like God likes to put little tests in our way. If we're going to be nice to everybody, if we're going to treat everybody very well, and they'll always put that unassuming person that you're ready to walk by and not say hello to and ask who they are, and that'll be the person who put $50,000 into the company and is completely offended by you not saying hi to them. God works in mysterious ways.
There'll be a guy in the corner, right, sitting on a
Yep.
bar stool
Yep.
with a cowboy hat on, rainbow suspenders, a who farted t-shirt, and he's 500 pounds. And he starts talking to you, and you just assume that he's the worst person in the world and get away from me. And it turns out that he's the one who's paid for his company that
Right.
he's a fan of to have this opportunity to wrestle and have some marquee matches as part of the WrestleMania weekend.
Right. And
I've seen it happen before. Also, the companies themselves don't bring everybody out because they can't afford it. Some people
right.
can't afford to go. So it's a smaller crew. It's basically the decision maker and maybe his significant other, his or her significant other. It's the decision maker, a couple of key people, maybe 4 to 6. What can they put in a hotel room? That's pretty much who's going to be there
Uh-huh.
representing the promotion. Okay. And so it's a little easier to get to know everybody. But again, that odd person that you may see sitting over there on the side, be nice to them, like Bob says, because they could be the ones who are funding a lot of activity in and around WrestleMania.
And ask questions. Don't sit there and expect people to come up to you and give up information. Not that people are necessarily gatekeepers, but get people talking about themselves and they'll tell you how to fix the world. You have to, but you have to get them talking about themselves. What are you guys, what are you guys doing here? What's your story? I know you guys are from Tampa. Why are you in Vegas? Why are you guys putting on the show? Well, I feel very strongly about this, that, and the other thing. And I really want to be here. And this is why it means something to me. My dad took me to WrestleMania and it's the most important show to me. And I want to be a part of it. Okay. Now we know something about this person. You tie it in. It's like improv. You just ask them yes and you relate a story that makes sense to you. And all of a sudden they've told you 25 things about themselves and they know, like, and trust you. And again, it's just a way to get to things faster and build a rapport faster. It's sales, it's meeting talk, it's whatever it is, but it's not just surface level. I want you to go out and make friends. I want you to go out and meet people, make new friends, have relationships with people. Go look to have good business acquaintance relationships with these people, friendly business acquaintance relationships that might turn into friendships, and look to see how you can serve them. Hey, I noticed this. There were a couple of lucha wrestlers looking for work. Do you guys need a lucha match? I connected with the guy, and he said they had a couple of slots open on Saturday afternoon, and I noticed you were running around saying, "Where are the damn luchas? We need some luchas on the show." Well, I have some, that kind of stuff. Or I need a big 500-pound guy to do the 500-pound guy challenge that this guy's doing near us on the indies, and it gets over like crazy. And the 500, the guy challenges him to a body slam match, and then the 500-pound guy always beats his ass. But we need one in the area,
What's the rules of the body slam challenge?
Right. It's don't you know how to work? But
Thank you.
Yes. But it's
shout out to Maverick Wild.
Yes. But as far as any of that stuff goes, there's always going to be people looking for people to fill slots, and you may not fill that slot. Don't hide the information. Hey, I know somebody. I know somebody. I know somebody. All of a sudden, you may not even become the guy who wrestles right away. You may be the guy who knows people. And if you're the guy who knows people, then all of a sudden, when you're like, hey, I noticed, I noticed you have a need a spot in the 6-man. I could do that. I told me you were a heel, and this is for a babyface. I can be a hell of a babyface too. I'm very versatile, no problem at all. So, but if you have to start these conversations, and it's not easy, by the way, very, very not easy. But the first thing you do is, again, and Kevin said it, and I'll say it. Motivation doesn't create movement. Movement creates motivation. Start moving, start taking action, start doing something. We know this ourselves. One of the reasons we're not going to WrestleMania is because we've worked pretty damn hard to get ourselves booked in a lot of areas where getting up and traveling isn't to something that is more of we had a couple offers, but let the kids have their fun. We're going to be busy the rest of the year, and with family stuff and with Kevin's show, which we will be talking about on the next episode, with our stuff going out and helping wrestling promoters and wrestlers get their small businesses going, scaling them up. We're plenty busy, but we worked our butts off to get where we are this far in the year. And if we waited for people to call us, yeah, maybe somebody would call us, but we did it all by us calling them. Sorry, guys, no matter what anybody wants to tell you, maybe with Matt Cardona being the only exception, and I really doubt it. I bet Matt Cardona makes plenty of phone calls and sends plenty of messages. Every wrestler is messaging promoters and looking for work. It's how they do it. It's how promoters aren't calling wrestlers left and right looking for them to come work for them. It just doesn't happen. I'd say it's 90-10. And for most people, it's 99-1. The fact that you have to reach out. So this is just another version of reaching out. It's a great way to practice. You're going to meet a lot of cool people and get everybody's contact information and stay in touch with people.
Right. Is somebody wrestling 11 matches over 37 hours? Okay. How can I serve them?
Right.
Hey, do you need a ride to your next show? My car's right around there. And yeah, can I jump in with you, please? Okay, great. And then all of a sudden you become their go-to guy. Do you need anything? Do you need a water? Do you need something? Yeah, no, I'm dying. Can you get me an energy drink? Can you get me a sandwich? Can you get me something? Here's some money. Here, go. Okay, great. That can benefit you in a lot of ways. If you look at WrestleMania as a giant trade show, and I don't know if anybody's ever been to a trade show. Let's say it's a business networking show, a job fair. There are vendors lined up row after row after row, and some people just walk around these things to say that they went, but they don't necessarily get much out of it.
Right.
And the same is true for the vendors themselves. There wasn't anybody, there was no leads, whatever. No, man, if you have a business to promote, which is you and your independent wrestling career, then you can't be, once you're there, the hardest thing to do is to start that first conversation, break the ice. And like Bob says, don't be afraid. You have to do it. You've done it. and everybody is there looking to talk to somebody. Bob said if you meet somebody and you ask them questions about their promotion or what they're doing there, trust me, they are going to tell you their life story because they are on vacation in a way. Yes, it's a grind and it's awful, but they're having the time of their life. They're in Las Vegas, for God's sakes. And there's thousands of people, and they met so many cool people, and they saw some stars, and they did some things. And they're going to tell you everything that you need to know about how to make that follow-up call in mid-April, in May, and beyond. So find out if somebody who is there, who's doing a bunch of matches, find out if you can help them. Number two, don't be afraid to go up and start asking. Don't be like the guy just wandering the halls of the trade show and not speaking to anybody, or the business who's not going, hey, come here. Can I talk to you for a second? You look like you're looking for something. I think I might have what you need. And it said better than that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Start the
you just made it sound
conversation.
like you just made it sound like a super drug deal.
Yeah, I know, but just break the ice a little bit and start that conversation. And it's hard to do, but boy, getting out of your comfort zone can really be a benefit. And help those who are looking for help. And once you start, again, start to remember that information that you're hearing from, it could be the camera person, it could just be the assistant, whatever. You're going to learn a lot. So take good mental notes and be ready to follow up on those conversations that you had. Hey, can I get your number? Can I what do the kids do? Can I Snapchat you? Are you on the Zoom? What are you on? How do I reach you? That would be me.
After you try to do your drug deal gone wrong there.
Hey, come over here, kid. Come over
Oh
here.
boy,
I want
no,
to talk to you.
don't say that in a crowded
Come on
place.
in, my longtime close personal friend. Come on in.
Come on.
Kamala, the Ugandan giant.
I didn't know me and Gina Kamala were dear longtime personal friends.
My
Who knows?
longtime close personal friend, the Iron Sheik. Yes, come on
Not
in.
Kimchi. He wasn't as close with him.
Oh,
Um,
kimchi.
and also not only don't just take mental notes, but take notes. There's plenty of, you can do talk to text right into your notes app. You can do a Google Doc, open it up and just do a little quick talk to text. Audio memos, you can do a little video diary, audio diary. What did you see? What was interesting? Look at this. Look at this merch setup. Take pictures, get evidence, and help yourself and stitch it together. Another thing we haven't necessarily talked about, and weird for us to go this far without talking about it, is there's a social media impact to this. So, and an aspect to this. So you could tell a great story of, I remember Russell Brunson, who's a giant direct marketer, watch his podcast. He's right here. Good looking guy. Easy watch, talks 100 miles an hour. He's like the Micro Machines guy because he's so excited about what he does. But one of his most famous YouTube videos is My Biggest Failure Ever. And they lost, I think they estimated that they lost $1 million in a weekend, speaking at a big conference where his voice did not carry through the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium that it was held in. They had 35,000 people in the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium, and nobody could understand what he was saying. So he figured that out, and they tried to fix it. And it's like a 20-30-minute documentary about the biggest failure they ever had, which really wasn't the biggest failure they ever had because they got a ton of views on it. It put a lot of sympathy and empathy on Russell and his company. And he's a multi-millionaire anyway. He's the guy who created ClickFunnels. He's done a lot of stuff. You don't have to buy a thing from him. His free stuff is more valuable than a lot of people's paid stuff, which is the model we're trying to follow here by giving you guys super valuable stuff. But the idea is the biggest failure. We're working with, I don't think this is talking out of school. We're working with a guy named Jake Oman. Jake Oman is a guy who's from Indiana, trains people, fantastic wrestler. Kevin, you get to meet him in a couple weeks, which will be exciting for you.
Yep.
Jake has wrestled in 40 countries and isn't famous. And I think that is an awesome story. So he's going to start doing the thing where he goes around and does videos where he goes to all the different cultures, all that stuff, and kind of does a travel log because that's his. And he just put out a guide for wrestlers and non-wrestlers how to travel very inexpensively internationally. And he sells it for like $5. I said, first of all, make it 20. And second of all, if it's that valuable, then market it. put it out. There's ways that this business can give back to you. The experiences that we get in this business go past wrestling. And these lessons that we guys teach you, a lot of these lessons, people have told me, both Kevin and myself, that these lessons extend past wrestling. If you want to get a better job, if you want to increase your standing and you go to a trade show, again, like Kevin said, don't just sit around and drink coffee and then go out and have a drink at night and talk about how much you hate the company. Go out and see what other companies need, what they're looking for, and see if you can fill the need, even if it's not with you. People will be, trust me, people will be pleasantly surprised. I learned this recently in my work. Most people are incompetent, unfortunately, even me sometimes. And most people are looking for people to either do their work or help them do their work better. I prefer the second one. But if you can help people do their work better, or if you can help people achieve things faster, or if you can, it's a service. You're in the service business. So it's not just about wrestling. Obviously, wrestling is the first thing, but why not do all this other stuff just to not only stay busy, but to enhance yourself? If you're a wrestler who's pretty good, but not incredible, but you've helped 20 people, you've gotten Jimmy 37 to 3 different shows, you've gotten this other person was stuck with a flat tire and you came and you saved the day. Either you fixed the tire or you just got them to the show and I have AAA, don't worry about it. Or you kept a couple people up in a hotel because their hotel fell through, or you did a variety of 10 or 15 or 20 other things that you could be doing. It's not about kissing ass or sucking up to people. It's not that at all. Just be of service. If patience is staying busy in between the good stuff happening. So,
right.
And patience isn't sitting on a couch with your arms folded, having a panic attack like Kevin did, or like I have. It's keeping busy, making yourself of service, do things. Again, when Kevin was struggling in a certain company named AEW, and he was kind of not bored, but looking for things to do because they didn't necessarily, I will say this in a diplomatic format, they were not exactly the most organized company who gave their announcers a lot to do. I said,
that's a fair point.
Yes.
Fair, valid critique.
Right. But we've run into a lot of places like that. I said, go do your Kevin thing. And he started doing it to a degree, and a few people listened, and it kept him busy. Go do your Kevin thing. Go do your Bob thing. Go do your John Doe thing. Go do your Fuego del Sol thing. Shout out to Fuego. He's getting a lot of publicity. Checks, we'll send you an invoice. But the idea is that you keep busy, and you can sit there and you can wait for stuff to happen to you. You can make stuff happen. And either one, stuff might not happen for you, but at least some stuff will happen around you and with you, to you. So I don't know.
So, and again, in the blogosphere, in the interwebs, I don't know if you know this, Bob, but social media is very, very important to life these days, right? So they say.
It's going to be as big as Smell-O-Vision, I heard.
Smell-O-Vision?
Replaces television.
Replaces television. Elmer Fudd, everybody.
Yes.
If you're telling that story as the weekend goes along, that's interesting. And if you're just if you're just taking pictures with people that you met, and you go back and you do a WrestleMania weekend memories thing, that's cool. But again, don't be and again, and the inertia thing and the panic attack thing can be very real. And if you're dealing with some of those struggles, we sympathize. And, again, every long journey starts with one small step. We know that old cliche. So put that foot forward and start going, and be aware of opportunities to help, because they are right in front of you, just to your side. And you may not realize, maybe you're just taking the jackets at one show, and then the next rotation, you're in a 6-man. And then the next show, you're taking somebody over to the airport because they've got to fly out because they're only booked 1 or 2 days. So you're going to do a bunch of different things if you're in the situation to do it. You've already done the hard thing. You've made the decision to go to Las Vegas for WrestleMania. And if you can't maximize your money, maximize your moments, maximize your minutes and your moments in and around the venue, in and around the experience, so that you take away as much as possible. You may not be Scrooge McDuck at the end of the weekend with a big pile of cash, but you may be the guy who is richer in opportunities and experience and life lessons based around what you did and how, what, little you may have done. Oh, I just did this little thing. What did you do? Well, I got Matt Cardona to the airport so that he could make his flight because he was only staying one day, or whomever, any name. And then I picked up three other people and I found a room for so and so to crash in because his hotel fell through and we all slept on the floor and we had a great time. Whatever that story is, whatever that moment is, maximize it and then tell that story afterward.
Mm-hmm.
Take the pictures, be a fan, but be aware of your surroundings. I'll give a little friendly advice. There will be people who will be sleeping on the floor of the venue that you go to. And while it's important for you to shake hands and say hi to everybody, if somebody's laying on the floor and their eyes are closed, they may not be asleep. Don't go over to them and offer your hand and say, hi, I'm so-and-so. Can I help? Because I've seen that and I've heard the stories.
You might get kicked.
I was trying to get 5 minutes of sleep, and like three different guys came over, woke me up, and said hello and introduced themselves. I'm like, go with yourself.
I just don't want to get heat. Well, you just did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So again, all of those things. But Bob,
Yes,
we know that there will be, let's say, 70,000 people run, round number. Maybe it's 60,000 this year. WrestleMania attendance is not what it's not going to be the record crowd, but nevertheless, it's still huge. And there's people
pretty
from
darn
all
big.
over the
Yeah.
world. So there's thousands upon thousands of people coming from all over the world to be in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
How many people live in the United States? 3 quadrillion? 47,
I think
47 trillion people are in the United States.
I think that's a little high. Last time I checked, it was what, about 360, 370 million?
Yeah. So how many people there are wrestling fans? Well, how many cities around the country are hosting WrestleMania? Oh, just one.
Uno.
So what about the rest of you? What about the shows and the promoters who aren't in Las Vegas? Do we take the weekend off? And do we understand that people may not be paying attention to what we're doing because they're so focused on WrestleMania? Or
Right.
do we present wrestling to them here in our home area because people are still looking for stuff to do?
Right.
And I think that's, some promoters want to take the vacation, want to do the thing. Our great friends, Tracy Myers, Brian Hawks from AML, they make it a vacation every year. But I guarantee you they're networking and they're talking to people, they're having conversations, they're posting pictures, they're there as fans, but they're networking and they're acquiring information and they're going back home. So AML is not going to be running this weekend because WrestleMania weekend, that's a vacation. And they've done it since, Tracy's done it since his son was what 8 years old, 9 years old. Now he's 22.
Right.
So they've been going every year for a long time. But what about the promoter who doesn't travel out there and is still working and hustling? What can we do this weekend? Do we take advantage of this weekend, Bob? Or do we just stay home and wait until Monday?
I used to when myself, Congo, and Tim were traveling a lot. So for about 4 or 5 years in a row, we used to go and find pretty much the furthest place away from it and go there and stay busy there. There's always shows going around. There's always stuff to do. There's a million shows being run all over the country. Exaggeration, but there's 500 shows being run all over the country. There's plenty of work to go around. And again, there might be slots to fill. There might be opportunities there for people who are gone. Maybe there's 2 or 3 people gone that week and they need spots to be filled. You never know. And you don't know until you ask. You don't know until you do a little work. This is where the research part comes in. This is where we do a half an hour's worth of research to send a 30-second message to somebody. And we ask questions and we, dive in and we say, I noticed you have a couple people gone. Do you need anybody? Well, we don't need anybody right now. And then shoot, a couple of other people just went to do stuff. And again, I bet there were a few people being booked at AEW in Boston a little differently, underneath people, preliminary people, enhancement people, because there were people already gone WrestleMania weekend. I mean, it happens.
Right.
So there's plenty of opportunities to go different places, do different things. Again, seek those opportunities. Write down a goal you have in mind. What's next WrestleMania looking like? Do I want to be the person who goes in and mixes in at WrestleMania? Do I want to be the person who stands way over on the other side of the country to not be a part of the crowd? Do I want to be somebody who watches like I said, like we talked about before? Do we want to watch it as a fan? Do we want to compartmentalize? Do we want to go strictly as a trade show? These are all things that I would suggest that you try to crystallize, because once you kind of pick a lane, it's going to be a lot easier to work towards that. Now, as we wrap up, Kevin, any last words on this? Is it or plugs or anything coming up the week of this week, WrestleMania week?
No, and again, this week is an opportunity for everybody to kind of celebrate the business. And again, I'm always the big believer in the getting out and talking to local business owners. And if you're there to promote your wrestling show that's happening in the latter part of, let's say May, and you've got a few weeks, and you're there talking about wrestling, your wrestling that they don't know exists because they've never heard of you before, use WrestleMania as an icebreaker. It is the biggest event in wrestling. It is the number one trending topic on all forms of social media, and it's top of mind with everyone. Hey, you gonna be watching WrestleMania this weekend? Oh, the kids will watch it, or oh, I haven't watched it in a long time. Who's there? John Cena? Yeah, actually, he is. He's wrestling Cody Rhodes for the main in the main event. No kidding. You'll find all kinds of people. Use the big event to then talk about your event. It's a fantastic time to get out and talk about your business, because the biggest event in your industry is happening this weekend.
Yes.
So use that as the door opener. Go in with the poster, go in with the free tickets, go in with yourself to introduce yourself. So don't be shy about doing that. And you'll be surprised at the number of people that will warm up to you because you're talking about a topic that they have some interest in. Even if it's fun memories of WrestleMania. I watched the first WrestleMania with Hogan and Mr. T and blah, 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 blah. It's whatever. Once you start that conversation, the information will pour out. And you'll learn so much about them and their business based around that icebreaker of the big event that you're not at. So use WrestleMania to help promote your business, and you will definitely see the results.
I agree. And if you guys want to promote your business and you want to scale your wrestling promotion, we've helped dozens now of wrestlers and wrestling promotions scale their businesses, double their bookings, double their revenue. The next episode, we're going to be talking about our blueprint and what we want from wrestlers. Yes, and we're going to flex like Kevin's flexing. I don't know if it's going to show. Yeah, make a noise so you show the flexing. There. Perfect. So that's the genius behind this operation.
I'm the genius. Look at me.
He doesn't even tell the rhymes or anything or wear the hat with the thing on it.
Now,
but we can all joking aside, we can help you guys scale your business, get your revenue up, pick apart your promotion in a very, very positive, productive way. We'll tell you the truth. We'll tell you pain points, how to fix them, and really get you where you need to be. So contact us at Brutal Bob Evans on Facebook is probably the best place to message me, and Real Kevin Kelly on X, right? On Twitter.
Yeah, that's a good spot. You can also, same thing on Instagram, Facebook, got a fan page, Kevin Kelly, where I've been writing a lot of information lately about, the upcoming promotion. And again, if you send me a note that says, hey, Kevin, I'd like you and Bob to help my promotion, we'll get in contact with you through that. So yeah, there's no way. And the biggest thing is, if you're asking the question, if you want to know the answer to the question of how can I serve others to help my business grow, we've got the answer to that. And that, again, is the key to all of this. It'll unlock every single door that you come up against. And the amazing stories of success that Bob has had recently with turning promotions around, taking places who have gone from tripling crowds in 90 days and doing all these things. It's again, the proof is there, and the referrals are there. So it starts with one call, one reach out, one text, one conversation, and we can help get your business going in the right direction.
That's it. So we will see you guys next week with all the information that you need to know to be a part or just watch our promotion. All right. Talk to you guys next week.
See you next week.